Oh, studying for finals. I'm so stressed. Halfway through law school, I need a rest. So I plan a trip to Thailand during my winter break. Dreaming of islands every night keeps me awake. I spin fantasies of serene afternoons, swimming in sandy seas and sapphire lagoons. The day after Christmas, I finally arrive. I get all these emails asking, "Are you alive?" Huh. I sit in the internet cafe, all confused, when a lady runs in behind me. And she's battered and bruised. "Hey, I need someone to help me make a call to Phuket." She rants and raves. "I lost my husband in the tidal waves." Suddenly, I stop researching fancy resorts and fantasy sports, and I start immediately reading CNN news reports. Oh, God. I want to buy a plane ticket to Phuket. "Sorry, sir, airport closed. I cannot book it." "Haven't you heard? Big waves, everyone dead." "But it's okay, you go to Koh Samui instead." I'll buy a train ticket halfway there and improvise. And I can already see my dad's disapproving eyes. After a 12-hour train ride, I hop into an empty minivan, and I see busloads of backpackers head to Koh Samui, my original plan. The driver gives me one last chance. "Phuket? You sure?" I respond in Thai, "Chakra." "Yes, sir." Several hours later, we arrive at City Hall, where survivors, refugees, and volunteers make up a chaotic sprawl. They throw me in a pickup truck with a driver and several schoolgirls to translate for survivors. The trip to the temple is peaceful, serene. The wind in our faces makes a perfect smoke screen. For the grounds of the temple are littered with bodies in grotesque poses. One girl cries, another vomits. They all hold their noses. I see one schoolgirl walking around taking photos of the deceased to post on bulletin boards that will be publicly released. She walks amongst the cadavers as if it were routine. Her name is Bui, and she's only 13. On the drive home, Bui teaches me Thai, any word I request, and she suggests I stay over at her school as a guest. Her faculty bring me cookies and blankets and even pajama pants. They treat me better than my own uncles and aunts. I meet another American, and my heart is cheering. "So, how long have you been volunteering?" He responds, "I'm actually searching for my best friend." He wanders off, and I never see him again. The next day, Bui takes me on a search and rescue expedition. We go off to the most devastated area that is now marked for demolition. We come across a crushed parking structure and a steam shovel that's pulling the metal rods and cement from the rubble. We, Bui and I, watch as it pulls away the concrete till I see a bikini-clad, bruised body beneath my feet. I grab hold of a cold, clammy leg, and I actually embrace the fact that her matted, braided hair is covering her face. We hoist her out of the mangled mound. An orange-clad men examine her on safer ground. I notice myself staring at her stomach. There's a little squiggle. Something white and little. I see it wriggle. Huh. So that's what a maggot looks like, I think internally. And then suddenly, I examine myself externally. I stare at my gloved hands. I see only dirt. Breathe a sigh of relief. No need for alert. And then my eyes travel up my arm to a sight so appalling. Little larvae on my forearm are crawling. I blow them off with all my might. But those strong little suckers, they hang on to my hair tight. I can imagine them digging into my skin and laying eggs like scabies. I start flicking them off. Oh, you disgusting fly babies. And now I can feel my hands are wet beneath my gloves. This is the most unsettling sensation. What could it be? I can't take it anymore. I rip one of my gloves off, and I expect to see blood, bugs, but nothing. I rip the other glove off. Again, just soft, white, wrinkled hands. I look up, and I see Bowie. Sweaty hands, huh? She smiles. She understands. Later that night, I convinced Bowie to let me drive her scooter. Don't worry. Back home, I'm a motorcycle commuter. As we weave precariously on to our next site of service, for the first time this week, she seems kind of nervous. We arrive at Bashar Hospital, where most of the survivors were brought, and I meet a volunteer IT guy named Nat. I help him scan photos and print missing person posters and sort lists. I type super quickly and with ergonomically positioned wrists. He looks at me with awe and he gives me a handshake. He's grateful that I've given him his first real break. Suddenly, a group runs past us with great emotion. What's going on? We wonder. What's the commotion? A nurse drops by the desk to breathlessly apprise us that a superstar Thai actress has dropped by to surprise us. Huh, you're not. You seem kind of excited. You want to go take a photo? Yeah? Okay, let's go. Oh my god, you really wanted to go, huh? Oh. Not. Dude, are you serious? I have a lot of important work to do. I gotta sort these lists. There's more important things to do than take pictures with celebrities. I finished sorting my lists, and I feel happy. Proud, in fact. Like I'm finally using my mental skills to make a more profound impact. I print out the list, and I head over to the volunteer booths. When suddenly I'm hit by a wave of women and youth. They're asking for autographs from the young Thai beauty. And I get swept up in the swarm. I forget my duty. I ask a nurse, can you please take a quick photograph on my behalf? You have to set it on camera. Thank you. Very quickly, the crowd disappears like a desert mirage. The actress is whisked away, along with her entire entourage. I walk back to the desk, and Nat is sitting back in his chair. His arms are crossed, and he looks at me with a furious glare. Hey! Why you lie to me? I don't know. The nurses are busting up and they're telling all their friends. I can't stop laughing myself to make proper amends. Not pretends to hold a grudge against me the rest of the night. And I realize it's the first time I've laughed since my flight. Hey, why you lie to me? The next morning, I join a group of student volunteers so enormous they throw us all onto a giant air-conditioned tour bus. It feels like a field trip. They're giggling and raucous. It's packed with energy, like a recent Iowa caucus. When we pass by the devastated areas, the kids and the chaperones pull out their digital cameras and their cellular phones. I feel like a grizzled old veteran returning to battle, surrounded by green recruits and their obnoxious prattle. We stop at Wat Yan Yao, and I hop off, undaunted, towards the temple that might be haunted.